Well, hello. Welcome to a very special edition of Around Our Town. Our guest for this show is Charles Wright, well-known photographer, chess expert and instructor, and former employee of Ryan's Deli.
Yes.
All right, Charles right now, his latest endeavor is scoring the country for unique and different types of butterflies, which he photographs in their natural habitat, and has put together a collection of very, very unusual photographs. And so I'd like you to meet our new guest, Charles.
Yes. How are you?
Very good.
Good.
Charles, you're a native of Rockville?
Yes, I was born here in Rockville and attended Rockville High School and the other schools in the area.
So, what got you interested first in photography and second in butterflies?
While in the Army, I won a camera.
Oh.
And I didn't know how to use it. And every time I went to a photographic store, I would ask questions. I would go to the library or go to a magazine stand and purchase a magazine and read up on photography. And I shot a lot of pictures of my children, my sons playing sports, and my other relatives, and in time I acquired an eye for photography.
So you're self-taught?
Yes, yes.
And, well, since you mentioned the Army, what did you do in the Army?
I did my basic training at Fort Dix, and then I went to Fort Sill, Oklahoma for artillery training. And then I went to Fort Benning, Georgia for jump school.
Jump school?
Yes. I was jumping out of perfectly good airplanes. Yeah, I was in the 82nd Airborne Division, and then before I went to Vietnam, I was in the 101st Airborne Division, and that's what I went to Vietnam with.
And you survived?
Yes. Yes.
Well, we congratulate you on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
And what turned your attention to butterflies?
How can I say this? I was working in a group home with the mentally retarded. That's the wrong word to say. Could have been.
Mentally handicapped.
Mentally handicapped. You're going to splice all this?
Yeah.
Mentally challenged. But can I interrupt 1 second? Because I don't know if Jimmy's going to flush the toilet. So you might want to wait 1 second.
Okay. You can let it run.
Yeah.
If you're going to flush the toilet. Mentally challenged. I was taking them back to the group home and I saw a gentleman selling butterflies on the side of the road. I took the clients out of the van and we walked over and looked at the butterflies. And I was amazed at their colors and the shape they were, but mostly the various colors of the butterflies. And that started it. I mean, I always liked butterflies. I like birds, I like a lot of things in nature, but the various colors of the butterflies, I just had to take pictures of butterflies. I just had to take pictures of butterflies.
So you were compelled to do it.
Yes. Something told me to do it.
And you became very good at it. Could you show us one example?
Okay, one of my favorite shots is this butterfly right here. This is the butterfly with its wings closed. This is the same butterfly with its wings open. So I have wings open and wings closed. Okay?
Uh-huh.
Okay, let me show you one more. This is a blue morpho. Wings open, wings closed. Okay?
Uh-huh.
Wings open, wings closed.
Now, why did the butterflies develop this way?
For protection, especially from other predators, and also to attract mates. The male would fly around and show off its colors, and the females would select which butterfly she thinks, which male she would like the best. And the reason I did wings open and wings closed is most of the times when you look at a book of butterflies, you either see the butterfly with its wings laying down flat, or its wings up like this. And I would say, does anyone ever wonder what does the butterfly look like with its wings closed and with its wings open? So that led me to thinking I would try and photograph the same butterfly at the same time with its wings open and wings closed to show the comparison. And as you can see with these two butterflies, it is very, very different from what you ordinarily see.
Yes.
So
Yes, they don't even look like the same.
they don't, and that's why I do wings open and wings closed so you can see at the same time what that particular butterfly looks like.
Do you know of any other photographer that's taken this approach?
No, I don't. No, I don't. Like I said before, when you open up a book of butterflies, it's either the wings are laying down flat or the wings are up together. Usually when they're resting, they'll raise their butterflies up. And sometimes they have their wings down. So I was thinking, well, I have to do both. I have to shoot the same butterfly, wings open and wings closed. And it's a very dramatic difference.
Does it take a long time to get these butterflies to settle in just the right pose?
You have no idea. I mean, they're in their natural habitat, and they're always moving. And it's not like, well, here comes Charles Wright, we'll pose for him. No, no, no. You have to look for them, and once you find the particular butterfly you're looking for, there's a lot of things going through your mind to get that perfect shot, or what you might say, a perfect shot. I don't want to sound egotistical, but I'm trying to take a shot that would appear on the cover of National Geographic. So the first thing I look at before I take a picture is the background that the butterfly is sitting on. What does the background look like? And then from there, I can take the picture that I want. I mean, sometimes you may shoot the same take a picture of the same butterfly 5 or 6 times on leaves, and then later on you may see the same butterfly on a flower, on the plant that it feeds on. So that's what I'm looking for, the host plant that the butterfly is on. It doesn't always work that way, and you're always at the mercy of the butterfly to get that perfect shot.
Yeah.
So you do a lot of walking around, a lot of standing on your tiptoes, a lot of laying flat on your stomach on the ground with the camera like this, and you're on the ground, flat on your stomach. Or you're laying on your back shooting up, and all this time people are looking at you and they're saying, gee, what's he doing? But then I show them the picture afterwards, but it's very difficult. It's very difficult. I mean, anyone who has a camera can take a nice picture of a butterfly, but to take that picture of the butterfly, it's very difficult. It's fun, it's challenging, it's exhausting, and it's also rewarding if you get that shot, but it doesn't always work that way.
Now, did you do all of these right around here and around Vernon?
No. I started out in Massachusetts. A friend of mine was moving from Florida to Connecticut, so we drove down together. And I went to the University of Florida in Orlando, Florida. And I shot quite a few pictures there. Went to North Carolina, shot some photographs. South Carolina, this is on the way back from Florida. A lot in Massachusetts, and then about 4 months ago, I drove to Niagara Falls. They have a butterfly conservatory up there. A very nice butterfly conservatory up there. And I shot a lot of photographs up there. So I've been from Canada to Florida, and a few states in between.
Do the different areas, are they home to different varieties of butterfly?
Well, what I've run into, most of the places that I went to, the butterflies were native to that state. But they do import other butterflies. I was a little sad that I didn't see more tropical butterflies in Florida. But what they had was pretty good. but not the type I was looking for, but I was satisfied with what I was able to photograph. You have to go to these butterfly conservatories at different times of the year. What may be there in January will probably not be there in June. And what's in June will not be in December. So if you're lucky enough to visit these butterfly conservatories more than once during the year, you have a better chance of getting a better selection of butterflies. But I've been lucky. I've been to enough of these conservatories more than once. Not Florida. I hope to go back one day. And I hope to go back to Canada again to shoot some more up there. Take some more photographs up there. Excuse my language for saying shoot, but most photographers use that word shoot, take a picture.
Is there a conservatory in Connecticut?
No, not that I know of. You're gonna have to delete all this. Someone told me about a place in Hartford that was covered. I forgot what school it was. I'm gonna have to find out. But not a conservatory like Canada or Florida or Massachusetts that I am aware of. There may be, but I don't know.
So, how many photographs do you have, Thomas?
Oh my gosh. I must have, without exaggerating, 2,000 to 3,000. But they're not exactly the photograph that I want. I'm trying to get the butterfly feeding off its host plant, meaning the plant it feeds on. And then when someone looks at the photograph, they say, gee whiz, look at that. It's very nice. Like I said before, I want to take a photograph that's good enough to fit on the cover of National Geographic. That's my mindset when I take a photograph of a butterfly. I mean, other people may take the picture just to say, I have a picture of a nice butterfly, and I've seen some people with some nice photographs of butterflies, but I'm always thinking National Geographic.
The ultimate.
The ultimate. That would be the ultimate.
Yeah.
That would be the ultimate.
And what's your plans for the future of your collection?
This November, for the whole month of November, the Hall Memorial Library in Ellington will be displaying my photographs. After that, next April and May, my collection will be in the Rockville Hospital on the corridor leading to the cafeteria. I'm having a reception on November 10th from 1 to 4 at Hall Memorial Library to explain certain things about my butterfly photograph. I'll give you a quick answer now. Sometimes you go to a conservatory and a butterfly never stops moving. It just keeps doing what it naturally does. I may not have seen that butterfly before. I would rather take a picture of the butterfly right then and there, hoping to get a very, very good shot, at least to have a record of that butterfly, because I may not see it again. So, even though that particular butterfly may not be perfect, what I consider perfect, I will take a photograph of it anyway. Like I said, I will have a record of that photograph. I'd rather take a photograph and not be perfect than to not take it at all and never see that butterfly again. Because being here on the East Coast, and the temperature is not always warm as opposed to the West Coast, or Florida, or Arizona, or New Mexico, we're really limited over here to the type of butterflies that survive. So I need to explain a lot of things, and also I have 3 candid shots of a little girl looking at some butterflies. I wanted to incorporate those into my collection, into my exhibit, to show candid photography. I think that people will like the little girl.
Yeah.
Her mother works at Ryan's Deli, and the shots were they're really good shots. not that I'm bragging, but they show a little girl frowning, looking at the butterflies like, what am I looking at? Or, it's very nice. Her eyes tell the story. And she had no idea I was taking the pictures. I have 3 different shots of her at the conservatory. So I'm going to show them to show my work as a candid photographer. So those are the only 3 people that will be in the exhibit. I think people will like them.
I think so too.
She was really unaware that I was taking her photograph, and it's really nice. I think it's really nice.
Now, do each one of these butterflies have a scientific name?
You had to ask me that, didn't you? They have a common name and a scientific name. For instance, this is a blue morpho. This is a blue morpho. And its scientific name is Morpho pallidus, I believe is how you pronounce it. In my exhibit, I'm going to have the common name and the scientific name. This particular butterfly right here, if you've ever watched Mutual of Omaha, Wild Kingdom, the butterfly that flies across the screen at a commercial is this butterfly right here. This is a butterfly. Okay? And the name of this butterfly is Hecale, H-E-C-A-L-E, and its scientific name is Heliconus hecale. Those are the 2 easiest names I can say scientifically. But like I said before, this shows the wings open and the wings closed. I'm not too good at the scientific names. The monarch. Monarch is called monarch, but its scientific name is Danis plexippus. The tiger swallowtail, which is gold and black, which is very native to Connecticut, is called, oh my God, Danis galapis. I think that's the proper name. So each butterfly has a common name and scientific name, and the common name may vary from region to region. Same butterfly, but common names vary, scientific names don't. But I enjoy taking the butterfly. I mean, it's really a challenge. You go to these conservatories and you look through a butterfly book before you go, and you see this, and you see there are so many butterflies that I like to take their pictures. It's amazing. At a conservatory, this butterfly never stops moving. It's always on the move. And luckily, at one time, it had landed, and I was able to take seven pictures of it. And I made sure the first 3 were absolutely positively perfectly focused. I mean, just perfectly focused. And then it flew away again. And we're talking over a 3-year period that I was able to photograph this butterfly. It never stops moving. And if it does stop moving, it's way up in, excuse me, it's way up in the rooftop of the conservatories. I was just lucky to be at the right place at the right time. And most of the time, that's what happens. While you're walking around looking, you see a butterfly, and you're ready to photograph it. And then it may leave. So your first 1, 2, or 3 shots are the most important. Actually, the first 2 shots are very important, because once you come upon the butterfly, you have to frame it, looking at the background. Before you get there, you're looking at the background. All right, you see the butterfly. Now, how are you going to shoot it? You're going to go to the left, to the right. Are you going to shoot up? Are you going to shoot down? Are you going to shoot on an angle? So the first 2 shots are the most important, because the first shot, you really have to absolutely be on focus. You take it, and the second shot, that's going to be the shot. But I'm always thinking National Geographic. Because I want people to, when they see them, to be really happy and thrilled, and to see various butterflies from all over the world. There's about 16 to 20,000 varieties of butterflies. And there are many more moths. And to tell the difference between a moth and a butterfly, you can start with the antenna. A butterfly's antenna is very thin with a clubbed tip. A moth's antenna is very furry, more fur on it, where a butterfly doesn't. When the butterfly can either have its wings down or up, and 98–99% of the time, the moth always has its wings down. Very seldom you'll see a moth with its wings up. And butterflies have 2 wings. 4 wings, I mean. 2 and 2. But the major difference is the antenna. The butterfly is very, very thin with a club tip, and the moth is very hairy. Very hairy or furry. Very hairy. And that's one of the major differences between a moth and a butterfly. There are other things, yes, but those are basically 3 of the main characteristics. But I've seen butterflies at conservatories I've never seen before, and it's impossible for me to get their photograph. They're just way out of reach. So you just have to let it go, hoping the next time you visit a conservatory you'll see it. Mm-hmm. But it's really challenging to get the shot, as I call it, the shot, the moment that, gee, that belongs on National Geographic, if I don't say so myself. You know, other people look at your work and enjoy your work. And that's what I do. A lot of people say they like butterflies, and I'm just trying to bring more butterflies to them from different parts of the world. So at the exhibit in Ellington in November, I'll probably have 80 butterflies, wings open, wings closed, and a group of butterflies, wings open or wings closed, because I couldn't get them both ways. So there'll be a lot of different butterflies to look at. There will all be 11 by 14 enlargements. And I hope the people, when they see them, will appreciate the beauty of the butterfly.
I'm sure.
Because they are. It's unbelievable, the colors and the patterns. This particular butterfly right here, it's got a lot of, it's green with the stripes, and then that's the wings open. Mm-hmm. And the same butterfly with its wings closed. So we have on the top, wings open, on the bottom, same butterfly with its wings closed. Can you see it? Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's what I'm trying to show, both at the same time instead of just one view.
Do you ever forget whether or not you took a picture of a butterfly if you go into a conservatory?
No.
You always remember?
I always remember, because if I have to shoot that butterfly again, it's because it wasn't what I wanted the first few times that I shot it. But I always make sure I get 1 or 2 shots, no matter what. Even if I don't see that butterfly again, I know I have that butterfly on record. Going to a few conservatories, it took me a year and a half before I could photograph my first monarch. And there's so many of them around here, although you don't see that many because of the habitat and the building of houses and apartment buildings. You just don't see that many butterflies anymore. Of course, people who have butterfly bushes on their garden or in their yard, they attract a lot of butterflies.
Yeah.
But
some people, like my niece, she built a garden especially to attract butterflies.
Yes, butterfly garden.
And she put these plants that have nectar and would attract them.
Oh yeah. One of these days I hope to do one myself. But the photographs, yeah, I had a couple thousand. Yeah, I have a book home like that. I should have brought that with me. All the butterflies that I've shot. I'll have the day of the reception. But it's you can shoot the same butterfly 27, 30 times. Out of that, there may be 2 or 3 which you may consider very, 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 very good. Excuse me. But then again, you may go to another conservatory, see the same butterfly. That's not the same shot that you did at the first 27, and you shoot it and say, boom, that's the shot. That is the shot. And then now you're happy. At least At least I'm happy. Then I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
But I always remember every butterfly that I've shot. I usually remember how I shot it, where I shot it, without writing it down. And thank you for digital cameras. Thank you for digital cameras, because if I was shooting film, I would never get the same results. Although I have a lot of practice, you never get the same results. It's just a completely different type of photography. Thank you for digital photography. I didn't think I would like digital photography, but you can't stop progress. And digital photography will get better and better and better, and pretty soon there won't be any film.
Well, not pretty soon, it's almost there now.
It's almost there now, but digital photography makes it possible for everyone, children and grown-ups, to take very good pictures.
Yeah, I've got a 6-year-old granddaughter that takes pictures.
Oh, it's good. That's good.
And a little memory card.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how many hundred on there.
Oh, at least. Some of my memory cards I can get 1,000. But I want people to know that I just don't take pictures. A lot of the pictures just shoot and delete. When I take a picture, I want that picture to be the picture to show what was going on. I don't like shooting 5 or 6, 8, 9, 10 pictures and I know I can delete them. To me, that's a waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
I want to shoot 1, 2, or 3 and know that I focused. Everything is crystal clear and brilliantly focused. Taking 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pictures to me is a waste of time, because you're going to have to go back and delete them. It's just a waste of time for me to shoot a lot of pictures knowing I can erase them right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
I want to take the picture. If I have to take 2 or 3, and later on, an hour later, 2 hours later, if I see that same butterfly sitting on a different plant, of course I'm going to take that picture again. But I'm not going to sit there and take 10, 15 pictures of the same butterfly in the same plant. Because by now, I know what I'm looking for. I always go in there shooting horizontal. And then my next shot is vertical. But my first shot is always horizontal, depending on what the butterfly is sitting on. But it's very difficult, but it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
I like it.
No, well, thank you, Charles.
Thank you. And I hope to see a lot of people on November 10th at Hall Memorial Library from 1 to 4. I'm going to have a reception, and I think people will enjoy what they see. Well, at least I hope they do.
I know they will. I know they will. In fact, I've enjoyed looking at these that you have here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
There's some from Africa, Russia, South America, Mexico, butterflies native to New York, Canada, Massachusetts, Florida, North Carolina, and South Carolina. But to get the real tropical butterflies, I'd have to go to South America. But yes, it's been fun. I hope to see a lot of people November 10th, 1 to 4 at the Hall Memorial Library in Ellington.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Charles.
Thank you.